Greetings, good day, and hello once more. As always, we are pleased to be here to interact with all of you and are so happy to have the opportunity. We would like to say a few things before we get started this evening. First of all, as mentioned in a previous session, you are well into the point now where you are choosing your reality. You are beginning to see the cracks in the common consensus where some individuals' experiences are not quite overlapping the same as your own. They are seeing different outcomes than you are. And this is par for the course as you continue in your journeys. We always like to express that this is a particularly good moment for you to practice your discernment. And the reason why we express this is because you are always steering vibrationally to what is in alignment and appropriate for you in that given moment. All the information that is flowing towards you might feel somewhat overwhelming in some regard as you are opening up to more and more experience, more of the universe that is you. Many channels are coming online at this time, including this one. Many sources of information to offer perspectives to you. It is always within your power to take it or leave it, so to speak. And in doing what we do here, offering you our perspective, we ask that you also use your discernment, take it or leave it. If our information is of use to you, we are in service to you. If our information is not of use to you, we are in service to you, for it helps steer you towards your truer alignment by knowing that which is not true for you. One of the things that has happened recently in your reality is the US elections. We would like to speak on this just a tad. Depending on the outcome of this particular election in your own affiliations, you may have been greatly impacted by it or not. For those of you who feel shaken, disturbed by the outcome, we would point to a previous lesson which was delivered. Will you allow the external circumstances of your reality to govern and control your state of being? Think of it as something of a test. You have reached the point where you are empowered always to govern your own emotional states and not let the external reality drive this for you. Everything that shows up in this moment is appropriate for you. So do not dismiss it. If you are feeling exuberant, excited by the results of the election, we would ask you to have some genuine self-reflection and consider whether or not you are being compassionate to those in your reality which have not had a similar experience. Recall that all of these are reflections, and the way that you interact with these individuals is truly the way that you are interacting with yourself. If you are indifferent to the election results, well, then perhaps have a sip of tea and enjoy your day. Although we do request that you consider whether or not this indifference comes from a genuine disregard of what is occurring or from a state of apathy, for one of these is not quite in alignment with where you may wish to be. At this time, we will pause for questions and appreciate any interactions we may have.
Hi, Jackson. Thank you very much for that information on the election and another lesson for us. I would just like to see if you can provide any information on the beings who wish to or are coming through me for channeling in the writing portion. I haven't progressed to the speaking portion yet.
Before we answer this question, what are your particular attitudes about how much you enjoy the writing versus how much you enjoy the vocalization?
I don't know how much I would enjoy the vocalization because that hasn't happened with these entities yet. I'm excited and I really appreciate the information that comes through on the writing, and it's a pretty clear channel. So I try to be as faithful to that as what comes in as possible. And those entities are kind enough to give me messages that are not faster than what I can write them down.
Yes, it is always perfect for your experience, is it not? We would state that these particular entities, these emanations of different dimensions of light and somewhat tied to the Fae and elemental natures are perfect for you to bring into your present moments, allowing this journey of discovery to come to fruition. It is most enjoyable, we believe, for you to do this. Is there a particular question about how to proceed forward or concern that you have as this is unfolding?
I had not given it any thought, but I'm certainly open to any advice that you might have to share.
Well, nothing from us at this time. We have already previously expressed that you bring in those natural elements to your practice and believe you have taken as much of that to heart as you desire and found it as enriching as you might be doing so. These beings are most definitely here for you. And as we expressed in a previous conversation, you have been always a channel. It was simply a shifting in perspective that was required for you to see it.
Yes, and thank you very much.
You are most welcome.
Anyone else have a question? Looks like we have a silent crowd, Ajax.
Silent of contemplation, not at all a problem.
Well, let's see. If you allow me, maybe I can ask a personal question. And as I find myself at this juncture, trying to create some internet presence, and rather than being an open channel, what I want to do is give messages that carry the simplicity of the messages that I receive from my higher self and those other sources that are beginning to come through me.
Yeah.
Could you validate that approach for me, personally for me?
Why do you need us to validate this for you? You are always the one validating yourself. If we were to say, yes, fantastic, this is perfect for you, will you really take that to heart or will you still have doubt?
I would take it as a great vote of confidence.
Well, then, do so. Yes, this is perfect for you. It is quite in alignment with your path for you to distill down information which you are learning, exploring into bite-sized portions for consumption by those who are not quite ready for the breadth and depth of the information, but something that they can latch onto, begin to understand, play with, as a kitten might do so with a small toy, beginning to understand its nature and dimension. There is most definitely a path forward for you in this, and many opportunities to play it out.
Thank you, Ajax. Really appreciate that input.
You are most welcome. Happy bite sizing.
I am happy with that. Thank you. Milo has a question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And this is my baptismal run, so forgive my rustiness if that's what comes across. My question is about creating your reality, and you referred to it at the beginning of your dialogue. I'm not sure if I understand what has changed in that my own belief and understanding is that I'm always creating my reality, and I don't understand how that can become more or less or change in any way, in that it's kind of always true at all times in all ways kind of thing. So unless I miss something or I'm not understanding something, could you help clarify this for me? Thank you.
Of course, you are always creating the reality that is perfect for you. The question that you have about the not creating your reality or the discrepancy of doing so, let's explore this a little bit further. And don't worry, just because it is a baptismal run, we will not keep you underwater. Please speak to a example which you feel is out of alignment with the information, and we will do our best to convey forth any understanding or perspectives we might have.
Maybe I didn't understand what you were saying at the beginning, but I thought I heard you say something about there was a particular nuance of for all of us around creating our reality that was transpiring now. Something had changed or shifted, and so maybe I.
Yes, it is not that the mechanism of your reality creation has altered significantly in your experience. It is that the collective consensus of what is the reality that is being experienced by all in your experience is starting to somewhat fracture, somewhat not overlap entirely. There will be those that you run across who have different experiences of events that have transpired. You have heard of this commonly before as the Mandela effect. This will become more and more pronounced because truly those individuals will have had different experiences. You are sorting yourselves onto your particular ships, your particular trains of going to the worlds that you desire to align with. This is what we were speaking to. And don't worry, Just because the ship has started to set sail, you are on the correct one, or you would not be here now. Does this help?
Yes, is this also in reference to an increasing splitting of timelines?
Yes, absolutely. For each individual is their own unique universe with their own timelines, so to speak. The collective consensus is the bundling of timelines together in a way that it feels that you share a common reality. We are saying that you will start to see that cable fray a little bit and cords going different directions, coming back in, getting a little bit less streamlined and collectively homogeneous.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
You are most welcome.
I have a small question. I am trying to channel a bit better and a bit more strongly. I'm just looking for a bit more advice.
Well, we do not view this as a small question at all. It is the question that is most prominent in your experience. First of all, many do not realize that all of you are always channeling. So it is a question of refinement. What is the particular of expression of channeling that appeals to you most?
I guess just having a view of where my soul has been and where I've been on in past lives, and I know it's not exactly past lives isn't the correct word, but it's like the different levels of where our soul has been on that one type of timeline that we are on, because I know there's like you're using the chords and we're all like kind of one chord, but like one lifetime of one smaller chord in the being. um it's knowing that um and oh god, I had something else. um Knowing that part and just sort of wanting a different view, and a different view that's not an earthly view, I guess, because um just something else.
Well, would it surprise you? Would it confound you to say, yes, you contain it all? You have experienced all timelines. However, your particular focus is what brings into relevance that which you experience now. You are a fractal of source. You are a multi-dimensional being that constantly sends out counterparts to experience things which you do not seem to experience in your now. And in this way, you have already experienced everything. It is just a question of how much of that will you allow to filter in to what you are doing in this moment. Like a image that is being focused upon.
Uh, yes. I'm really interested in focusing it better and being able to see it more clearly and experiencing it a bit more better.
Well, is there a particular timeline that you're wanting to expand into?
Um, I guess I should kind of pick one because there's too many to go through all. Um, I've there may be like two or three of them I would kind of like to explore.
Absolutely. And we assume that these timelines are exciting for you, yes?
Yeah, yeah, because I would like to. I'm hoping one of the timelines. I'm hoping it'll get me out of situation I'm in. Um,
Ah, hold on a second.
maybe
What is this situation which you are escaping from?
I'm trying to find a full-time job so I can get out of my parents' house.
All right. Well, what do you feel is preventing you from moving in this direction?
My past life for one, but I'm trying not to let that. I'm trying to release a lot of that so I can move forward. Um, and maybe a part of it is letting go of what I kind of need to.
Well, that can certainly be a element of it, bringing parts of yourself up for healing that require recognition and not to be swept under the rug, so to speak. But it sounds to us as if there is also a belief structure attached to something that is keeping you from moving forward with your expression of excitement. You have mentioned that you would like to expand your channeling.
Yeah.
Perhaps you could look to channel timelines for both yourself and others and help them discover these experiences as something of a starter profession.
Okay.
How does
Um,
that feel to you?
that feels pretty good. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to learn how to do it, and I'm just not sure how to do it. Um, maybe faster or to the point where I understand it more more clearly and where I can do it completely.
Is it clarity that you're seeking in this particular experience, or is it expediency? You are
Maybe
prioritizing
more
one over
maybe
the
more
other.
clarity. I've personally, channeled one or my brain's fried. Arcturian, but like I'd like to get more stronger with that, um, and a bit more better.
Do you practice this frequently?
Yeah, I try to practice it. I need to probably refine the practice.
All right. And why do you not feel that this is developing in the appropriate speed?
I don't know. Maybe it's because I've always had problems picking stuff up, so I'm kind of expecting to have problems picking this up when I probably shouldn't, because just because I have problems picking up earthly things doesn't mean I will have a problem picking up the channeling, which I'm not saying that's not earthly, but what I'm saying is like in another spiritual realm per se. But
See,
because the stuff I have problems learning are like being when I was being raised more of the math problem and more of the comprehension of of words and um and but I think my hearing is more tied into channeling because I can hear extraordinarily better. As a matter of fact, it's just like I can hear just fine, but my brain does not in a human perspective. But so I think there's something there, but I just need to refine it. And I feel like I went off course with my answer. Sorry.
you are doing just fine. Relax. We would point to a possibility that the schism that you are placing between your physical experiences and your idea that channeling is such of a spiritual nature that you are not allowing yourself to bridge that gap. Perhaps try to view these two things as being more holistic. You are always having a spiritual experience, and that does not diminish the physical, for it is a spiritual experience. Channeling is just allowing you to guide yourself towards that which your higher self, your inner being wishes to express in that experience. If you follow your emotional compass, that state of what excites me, that will help set you on course towards the actions that you need to take to bring more of this manifestation into being. And do not discount those things which are out of alignment, not exciting, fearful, problematic, for they are adding information to help you identify where you are out of alignment and what could be holding you up, such as the schism that you might be placing between the spiritual and the physical. Does
Okay.
that help?
Yeah, let me just make sure I understand. So just sort of bridging that gap in between the spiritual and the physical more, maybe that would help
Absolutely, for there is no gap.
because it's all one.
Yes.
Okay. Um,
We recommend that you spend some time in quiet contemplation, considering and imagining the timelines that are most attractive to you, allowing them to play out in your mind's eye. And as you do this more and more, you will start to align with that person that you see in that experience, acting in those timelines. And this will help to steer you further towards them as well. And in addition, with practice, more clarity will come in about how those things evolve.
okay. So going through those timelines um that the Arcturian has given in my head, and then just sort of like spending time thinking of those, and then that will bring me to more of those section of the timeline.
Not just thinking, but also acting them out, both in your mind's eye and additionally in your physical, spiritual experience.
Oh, okay.
Be that person you wish to be, and you are. Nothing can refute you.
Okay. And if there's a timeline that I have not had a picture of quite yet, but I may have to go down there, and I don't even know what other timelines there are. I've
That
only
is okay. That is okay.
good.
Those things will only be entered into your experience when they become relevant. So do not worry about whether or not they are showing up until they do, and then take actions according to them at your preference.
Okay. Okay, so maybe just sit there a while just thinking of the timeline I want
And acting.
and acting. Okay. And then
Physical action is required. In addition to the contemplation we suggested.
that makes sense on the acting, because the Silva learning method, they have you take things in balloons and you have to actually physically like act like you're popping them. So that makes sense.
Yes, it is the grounding of the energy. Without action, it will not come to pass except through happenstance.
Okay.
Be a more direct navigator of your reality, is what we suggest, if you wish to.
Okay. So then if there's a future timeline or a job that I'm looking at, then I need to start acting and thinking on that in my meditations then too.
To some extent, however, keep in mind that you should not be insistent that it come to form in that particular manner. It is more about the energy that you are putting together and sending out into the reflective nature of reality. You do not necessarily know how things will play out. And that is part of the joy of your experience. You designed physical reality as an incarnation so that you would have surprise and delight in seeing how things unfold. It would not serve you to know everything and to have everything come into being which you desire, for that would not be a very helpful path of learning. You have already been in that state and continue to be in other forms.
Oh, interesting. There's other forms who don't have to, they can just, okay.
We suggest that you take this information, consider it, and take those actions which you are in alignment with.
Okay. I I believe I got it.
Ajax, can you provide any information on my hybrid children, please?
We have a very strong impression in this moment of a young male hybrid around the age of 7, as well as a female hybrid around the age of 12, who share a large portion of genetic material with yourself. And when we say large, we are thinking more along the lines of 23%. Have any particular names come to you regarding these two individuals?
Yes, one of the, well, I was told by Zariah that things that occur naturally in our world that we have positive associations with are prime choices for names because we already have a positive association. So I constantly see one red leaf, no matter what the season is when I'm running or other things. So red leaf came to me, and then also honey was another one.
Perfect. We are getting a very strong impression as well of a maple leaf.
Nice. I appreciate
For
you.
the one who chooses these names, for they wish to relate to you, and they will accept whatever name that you both find agreeable. So we feel that you likely already know that these are those individuals' names. And by the way, they say hello, and we have visited you recently in that space where you have begun to become more of yourself and express your highest ideal of embodiment.
Excellent. I really appreciate that. I know they're part of my Heart Circle group, and I really enjoy it, connecting and energizing with all of those individuals as well.
Absolutely. And they are also part of the connective fiber of that group, helping to bring more and more participants to it.
Great. Anyone else have a question?
I do.
Go ahead.
That was me. Um, I am so pleased, Ajax, that you are sharing your wisdom with us this evening. Um, I would like to ask you um, if you know of the 52 points of connection.
We do. However, this is not appropriate information to bring through the channel. The channel must first be in resonance and understanding of this information before it is able to be conveyed through. So, like some other situations and other topics, there will occasionally be things where if the channel is not aware of them, we are unable to express any additional information through this form. So we will appeal to you that you guide yourself to another source for information on this particular topic.
Thank you. I do know what they are. I was just wondering if you had any more insight into that.
There is nothing we can bring through at
Okay.
this
I understand that too. Thank you.
You are welcome. And our apologies that this answer was not one you were expecting. It does occasionally occur.
That's perfectly fine.
Nobody's speaking up, Ajax, unless you have other information for us.
Then this will be an excellent moment to end the session. Thank you all for your participation in it. and we hope that there were at least a few things which were of interest to you. We are in service to you all. Avail.
Avail. Thank you very much.
I got like this weird fractal geometry thing with like, I don't know, it's like a Merkaba crossed with a just weird multi-dimensional point thing when you talked about those 52 points. That was really weird. I'm gonna go investigate that. I'm really curious now.
Yeah. Well, then she can ask the question next time, right? If you go and you get enough information that it can make sense and come through.
Yeah, I know occasionally that Ajax before has just been like, nope, I'm not telling you. So that that does happen. So
Well, we're not supposed to know it all at this level, right? I mean, we've all come up against brick walls trying to ask questions like that solo. I asked 3 different channelers. They're like, it's all right.
I, it's just surprising occasionally when you run into that stuff, right? It's just like, oh man, I guess I'll try another path.
I had that happen in a dream before. I was going and I was checking on all of these different entities in whatever reality they were in. It was like I was on a beam of light, and I could just focus in and I would get an update and just see how people were doing. And I got to a point where I couldn't go through. And I was like, what the heck? And I'm like, I know I can go around it, but if I know I can't get through, then I know that's not for me. And my ego was really kind of pissed off about that I have this obstacle that I am unable to surmount in all of this reality that I created. And I'm like, I just had to accept it, and then I woke up from that point, which is probably why I remember. I still want to know. I missed my chance to ask AJ.
So how are you doing now, Christian?
I'm doing good. Like I said, that image of that geometry really hit me quite strongly at the end there.
Yep.
So I feel like I'm integrating
Arla, do you,
now. I'm kind of making sense of it. It was quite
yeah.
wild.
Arla, do you have any material on your YouTube channel about the 52 points?
Not as of yet.
Okay, coming soon,
I
huh?
will be bringing what it is, and it is a simple thing but profound in that it is such a simple thing if you can grasp it. And so it's something I've carried with me for many years, knowing about the 52 and then finding out more about them, and then actually being at one of those 52 points
Hmm,
and being
interesting.
told that where I was, not here, but where I was at that
Mhm,
time, was one of those 52
mhm,
points. So it's taken, well, it wasn't time. There were, the universe does things as the universe does them. And I don't have a problem with that. They're much better taking care of my itinerary and what I need to know than I probably would be. But yes, I will be talking some more. I've mentioned it on a couple of podcasts. Um, but yeah, yeah,
Cool.
I
and
see.
they're from what I understand, they are easily found when you connect with one.
Mhm.
But until you connect with one or more than one, um, you will know it if you're connected, or within your higher self.
Wow.
You sort of rewire it to resonate with the points once you find one.
Yes, and from what I understand, once you find one, you're connected to all of them.
Yes.
And so you can access all of them.
Cool. Well, you really got
Thank you for the information.
You're welcome.
Yeah, very cool. I look forward to finding out more about that.
I'm interested to hear what Ajax has to say
Yeah.
after all of that. So I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be
We need to send
cryptic.
Ajax to Christian to study the 52 points a little bit.
Yeah.
Lucinda is asking, if you could give more of a description of the 52 points.
They are actually 52
Arla.
physical points.
Mhm.
They are something that you would connect to physically through your higher self.
This is in the earth, in the physical earth, these physical points like Mount Shasta, maybe someplace in the Southwest.
Yes, they're on the earth. They are connected into energy grids, actually. I don't know if you try to look them up, if you're going to find that 52 points anywhere to read about them. It could be out there somewhere. I know for certain I'm not the only one that knows stuff. So you can just bet if you know something or have experienced something, somebody else does as well, and possibly many.
cool.
Christian, to your earlier point, when I met my first guide, he was geometric. He was an obelisk.
Huh.
His name is Severin. This is a characteristic of fourth density. So you were probably well into fourth density. Well, you were channeling, so you were in fourth density anyway. But I was really pissed off. My guide is a rock, for Christ's sake. So I told him. And he turned around and he was a person. He had on a hat, a big coat, opened up his arms, and we hugged. But that had a powerful effect on me, seeing that obelisk. He completed his Earth cycle and moved on to the Pleiadian system. And he's been wonderfully helpful to me. I work with him literally every morning, along with Mother Mary and Michael. There. Thank you, Ray. And in my morning breathing and yoga practices, I connect with them as I take the energy up through my chakras. And we've extended that to an 8th and 9th chakra. And I understand that the children coming in now actually have a 10th and 11th chakra. I have a chakra that connects to the center of the earth and a chakra that connects directly to my soul. And so I really love moving the energy up. And when I get to my crown chakra, all those people are there along with my soul or my inner spirit. which is in my chest, just a little bit to the right of my heart. And I equate it with my solar plexus, and I do a lot of work with my solar plexus. And if I choose, I can also incorporate my crown chakra in that, but I'm just not very diligent in that. But I do use my solar plexus, for instance, in exercising. Every exercise I do, I let my inner spirit or guide control or orient my body. Well, and it works best when I'm breathing. We do a lot of breath work in the morning. We use the Wim Hof method, but we also use the yoga breath work. And it's the breath work that enables me to stay connected to my inner spirit and stay present.
Cool. I think it's really not, I never thought about the hybrid children helping to bring in our galactic neighbors into our experience. That was a nice revelation. I mean, they're enablers. Thank goodness for us.
Yeah, people's experiences with children mileage may vary, yeah, but they certainly open up your experience in a lot of ways.
And anybody who doesn't like children just doesn't have the right recipe.
I was gonna say, yeah. You're terrible.
All right, guys, well, I have to take off. Thank you all very much for being
Thank
here.
you all very much.
Thank you, Christian. Thanks to
Thank
all.
you, Chris.
It was a wonderful evening. Arla, thank you.
Love you guys. Bye now.
Hey,
Bye,
Miles,
lots
we'll
of
see
love.
you.